Hey folks, Jessica here. So today I wanted to talk about the Showdowns event. It's going on for another couple days. It's a recurring event, so if you miss out this time, you'll get another chance later in the year. The SSR items are probably the only thing really worth talking about. The summons are mediocre. If you need a dark SSR summon so you don't have a full grid of them, then sure, go for it. Or if you're running like a conditional summon that requires a full grid of same color summons, so like Bonito or Noct in the case of Dark, then sure. But otherwise, they're not really a priority. I would not buy them all with currency because some amount will drop while you're farming other stuff. The weapons are all normal modifier, so the dagger is actually pretty solid, even if you're running a Magna grid early on, just because it can be FOB, so you can take it to 150 and then also 15 skill level, so a decent stat stick. Cerberus Order, on the other hand, really not good if you're running Magna. Very core though if you're running a primal grid. Like you're running Hades, you're going to run some number of Cortanas and Cerberus Orders depending on your tolerance for conditional damage. It's just a really strong weapon. One of the reasons why Dark is strong is it has easy access to Trium, and Cortana and Cerberus Order are the things that give it that access. Also keep in mind, if you are currently running Magna, the What Makes the Sky Blue event comes out, I think, at the end of the month, and they said they would be releasing the budget primals at that point, which are lesser versions of the primal summons, so if you want it to switch to one of those grids, then these might actually be worth it to get ahead of time. Fenrir, the summon, same note, it's not great, but if you need a blue SSR, it's fine. Gleipnir is like Hellbound Dagger. It's a decent weapon. It's again a normal modifier. Not really a super priority, but if it's better than what you've got, then sure, go for it. Small attack boost, big double attack boost. It's just decent. Can go to 150, etc. Thimble, on the other hand, is super core if you're running Varuna. It is a stamina weapon, as opposed to enmity. It's like reverse enmity. So enmity is damage based on how low your HP is. Stamina is damage based on how high your HP is. It's less damage, but it's safer to play because you don't have to have your HP really low. Also, it gives a nice HP bonus, which can be handy. So if you're running Varuna grid, it's up to you how many of these you run, again, depending on your tolerance for conditional damage. But definitely one, maybe two, maybe even more than that, just depending on what you feel like running. The biggest tip I can give about farming these is don't buy all the copies you need right away. What I mean by that is all of these have a final uncap that will require more of these materials. So I think the Thimble one is like 30 crescent cups, and then like some number of anima and snowflakes and winter bells. Because of that, you don't want to get in a situation where you bought 4, so like the first one and then 3-star uncaps, and then you're farming for the final uncap, and then one drops while you're farming for the final uncap, because that one just becomes fodder, and then you feel real bad because we wasted a lot of time. Yeah, that's the biggest tip to give. Otherwise, I'll talk a little bit about the actual fights, but they are really going to depend on what you've got. Oh, and one more thing. If you haven't done these before, all of these showdowns, this final item on the end, so in the case of Cerberus, it's the Magic Halo or the Crescent Cuff or Fenrir, only drop from the Nightmare mode. You notice Nightmare is not an option. That's because if you do a Maniac, which you can do 2 of a day, it guarantees you unlock the option to do a Nightmare battle. There are 3 difficulty levels for Nightmare battle. You want to do the highest one that you are able to do. If Maniac's not available, I believe every 3 extremes you're guaranteed to get a Nightmare battle. And then other than that, it's just random. Not sure what the rates are for the other ones, but basically spam the hardest one you can do, and when the Nightmare battle comes, do the hardest version of the Nightmare battle that you can do. So yeah, let's just jump to some quick gameplay real quick. Okay, the aforementioned gameplay. So this is why I said I don't really like talking about the actual fights, just because it super depends on what you've got. And I use a really unconventional method for the nightmares. I use my dark team. This is my dark grid. You can figure out what's there. Just pause the video. Characters, I use Vera, Dark Zoe, and Jeanne d'Arc. The rest don't super matter, but if you want to know, it's Olivia and Tien. So main thing is I use Vera because you need Veil. If you don't have Veil, you're going to get demolished on Nightmare Fenrir, especially the 120. And then Jeanne d'Arc because she can survive anything for 5 turns. And then Zoe because it's Zoe, and I am a scumbag Dark Enmity player. Woo! Here we go. So, Fenrir 120. So, get out of here. Earth Summons. Dark for life. Represent. Edgelord. So, here we go. Fenrir has a 75, a 50, and a 25% trigger, I believe. At those triggers, she's going to freeze everybody. That's why you bring Veil. And after she freezes people, if she successfully freezes anyone, she's going to use Hrafnir. She's going to use a big attack that does an absolute crap ton of damage. It'll probably kill most, if not everybody. So the idea, basically, with my strategy is I'm going to use a Veil to soak the first freeze, and then just like my survivors, which will definitely be Jeanne because she can survive anything, will finish her off. So basically I'm taking the dark approach to this, which is, you know what, mechanics, they're for colors that aren't dark. We're just gonna try and burst this down and ignore mechanics. So alright, all my Zoe buffs are up. All my relevant buffs are up. I'm just going to put up the Bahamut buff, and then I brought a Luchador so I can do a tag team. So I get a free turn to punch her face in. And then I get my regular attack. And now, since I'm way past the 75% trigger, actually past the 50% trigger, she's going to Freezing Roar, Veil will absorb it. There's a resist. I will transform Vera to Affection Abyss. And then pop Jeanne d'Arc's immunity so she doesn't die, because I probably cannot kill Fenrir on this round. But, I'll get her pretty low, so I just want to set it up so I can finish with Jeanne d'Arc. Oh man, I almost finished her. So close. But there's Hrafnir. You know, if you know how to actually say that, just post some comments down below, because I have no idea. And now she's basically dead. Like, just attack, and she's done. So, if you are a scumbag dark player like me, that's how you do it. Main thing to keep in mind is if you don't have the option of just bursting her face off like that, you need a Veil to absorb at least one of the Freezing Roars, because if Freezing Roar hits you, and then her, however you say it, hits you, you're probably toast. Either that or have a damage cut. Ooh, a Dlepnir. That's one less I need to farm. And then we'll jump over to Cerberus. I'm going to cut here, though, because I need to unlock the Nightmare. Be right back. Alright, back with Cerberus 120. This is going to be, again, with my dark team, because diversity is for the weak. And no, there's not 130%. That's a sad day. Exact same team as the Fenrir team. Cerberus is actually, I would say, easier than Fenrir, because you don't have, like, Fenrir has 3 triggers for 3 freezes that will demolish your face. Cerberus really only has Triple Damnation, which she casts at 50% for a ton of damage, and then if she gets another another Oogie off on you, you're probably gonna die. So for me, I try and burst her down as fast as possible. These 2 gloves will cast a dark down and power down dark and power down fire if you blow them up. they're really easy to kill. You can manipulate that if you need to get her to debuff herself at specific points. But as per the usual dark strat, I am just going to try and ignore every single mechanic and just burst her face off. We're going to see how this goes. It's been a long time since I've done her, actually. Let's get the Bahamut buff up as well. Remember that if you're using Zoe, you are invulnerable to anything but true damage on the turn you conjunction. So we're just going to beat her up. And then we will go again. And then this will push her past 50%, so she will triple damnation us, but we don't really care because we're dark. Let's form change Vera. Affection Abyss for some damage. And then or Affection Oath. That's not Abyss. Abyss is the Oogie. And then put up Jean d'Arc's invuln, and then go again. And I think this might actually kill her, but if it doesn't, Jean will survive and finish her off. You're noticing a pattern here. I think this is going to kill her, though. Nailed it. So yeah, that's what the fight looks like for a dark player. We're just going to burst her down. Let me know if you find, like, the gameplay parts of these actually interesting to watch, just since it super depends on what team you're using. Like, you got a lot of options. In my case, like, whatever possible, I try and just burst through mechanics instead of doing them. But if you I can also do a video with, like, the proper element team or something, if that is something you guys are interested in. But overall, the fights, bring Veil for Fenrir, and keep in mind that Cerberus below 50% is super dangerous, so you want to make that go fast. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That super helps me out. Patreon links down below, Twitter links down below. Love all you guys, and I will catch you next time. Bye.